Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And this episode right here is for my Disney Plus episode 6 recap of WandaVision, titled All New Halloween Spooktacular. And I'll just go ahead and say, guys, this was another great episode. I also want to let you know that this is going to be spoiler filled. I'm going to talk about this episode as if you've already seen it. I'm going to spoil it up, down, left, right, in, and out. So you have been warned. Again, if you have not seen episode 6, I strongly suggest you turn it away now. But this thing has been trending all weekend, and I'm pretty sure you have seen it. So let's just go ahead and get into it and start talking about some of the things that stood out to me, some of the things that are important. Like I said, I did love this episode, but this is the Halloween episode. And one of the things that I love so far is we get to see all of the characters, all of the heroes, Avengers, Young Avengers, etc., in their comic book costumes. We get to see Vision in his yellow and green. We get to see Wanda in her red and pink, looking like Valentine's Day. We also get to see Pietro, Quicksilver, that supposedly is from the Fox universe, and his comic book suit as well, as long as Billy and Tommy and Billy, Wiccan and Speed. And so that's just kind of cool right there. And it's just like natural how that fit right in there, you know, with the Halloween episode. I also just like the addition of Billy and Tommy. I mean, a lot of people have been speculating for the longest time, like, hey, we're going to get the new Avengers. They're coming, you know, da-da-da-da. And I really haven't been that excited about the Young Avengers. One is because I just don't know that much about them. And two is I still feel that there are so many other stories that you can tell in the MCU before we get there. I'm not saying that I don't want to see it. I want them to stretch out the MCU for as long as possible. I think that they can tell stories for the next 50 years through Disney Plus shows and in the movies without them rebooting the franchise, you know. So, but the way they're handling right here is it's pretty cool. I am liking it so far. Now, and you know, them breaking the camera, them breaking the fourth wall, and also just like this is like a 90s 2000s theme, with this starting out being based off like a Malcolm in the Middle. And I wasn't like a diehard fan of that show, but I did watch a couple of episodes here and there, and it was pretty cool, you know, for what it was. It was pretty cool. But we ended episode 5 with the cliffhanger. You know, Pietro, Quicksilver from the Fox universe X-Men world, popped up at the end of episode 5. So as soon as this episode starts off, I'm like, okay, what's going on? You know, are they going to answer questions? How is he here? Is this an illusion? Is this an imposter? Is it really him? Is this the multiverse? In this episode right here, I don't want to go as far as saying that it was exciting as episode 5. It was still good. It was still great. This episode just kind of teased you. They really did go back and forth between what's going on in the real world and what's going on in Wanda's reality, her fake reality. And they're really melding those together seamlessly, piece by piece. However, when I said this may not have been exciting, they did dump a lot of answers on us towards the end, because basically I am to the point now to where I think Pietro is an imposter. I don't believe that this is the multiverse. I don't believe that, you know, this is the real Quicksilver from the Fox universe, because he's remembering things from our MCU, our 616 universe. That's a comic reference. And he knows that, you know, Wanda has no control over him. He knows that there's something's going on. He's challenging her. She's challenging him, and he knows what the deal is. You know, even towards the end of the episode, he just strictly calls her out like, hey, where are all these kids coming from? I mean, I suppose that they would sleep or something, because Vision called her out in episode 5. It's like, why are you lying to me, Wanda? Or don't lie to me. Where are these kids coming from? Our children are the only one here. And so Wanda is in control, but she's not really in full control. And like all of her manifestations in this reality is all based off of reactions from her peers, hence her brother and Vision asking where the kids are. And so that's two cases where, like, well, she's being called out by everybody. She's being called out by Herb too. You know, we'll talk about that in a second. But back to back to Wanda and Pietro. She's calling him out at the end, just like, hey, I know what you're doing. How are you doing this? I think it's ethical because, you know, you're keeping families together and couples together. You know, people's personality is pretty much the same. People have better jobs, so you're doing the best you can. And she knows that she's doing wrong too, because she was like, oh, you don't see this as wrong, you know, but I'm like just jumping all over the place. But going back to like Wiccan and Speed, well, I like them, and I was talking about how Wanda's not in control, but when Vision came down in his outfit, he was talking about, well, hey, there is no other clothes in my closet. And he kind of just laughs it off because he knows something is going on. And he lies to her and says that he needs to go investigate, outside. And I like that. I really am. I really am feeling that, and of course we know what happens at the end, but I like that Wanda's just doing the best that she absolutely can, but things are just kind of falling apart, unfortunately for her. But we see everything outside. There was this little creepy statue in the background where everybody's trick-or-treating outside. This is also kind of where Speed doesn't Speed is Tommy, I believe. If I'm incorrect, let me know. But he doesn't have his speed yet, even though he's the first one to get his powers. Now when they're running around with Quicksilver doing the silly string and smashing on the pumpkins, this is where Wanda is talking to Herb or whatever, and he's like, breaking out the Matrix as well, like, hey, is there anything that I can do for you, Wanda? Let me know. Do you need anything changed? He don't want to die or nothing like that. And so that's just interesting. And this is also the scene where they was like, Pietro was like, you're testing me. I get it. Like, and she was like, why do you look different? He's like, I don't know. I was shot, and then I was shot in the street, and then all I know is I'm here because you called me. But during this same scene, there's this statue in the background that looks very, very creepy, and so we kind of got to figure out what's going on there. Now, I also want to ask y'all, what is going on with these commercials? Because they got this Yo Magic commercial with a little boy dying, and Yo Magic, I don't know what that's about. If y'all can help me, let me know down below. But next is right where here, when they're outside the movies, this is where Tommy Speed gets his power. Tommy. This is where he gets his powers. And like he's flying around and stuff. And I like how Wanda just nonchalantly, even if, I don't know if that's the word, like stops him in his tracks, don't go past Ellis Street or whatever and all that stuff. So I like that there. Now, as far as Sword is concerned, Hayward is being an ass. He's been an ass, he's been a dick, but at the same time, I don't blame him. He doesn't have any emotional ties to these characters. I mean, Wanda is being a terrorist right now. She is holding people at their own will. I mean, you can't do that. Even though we have a soft spot for her. Even though she is an Avenger, she is wrong right now. I mean, I understand that you're hurting. I understand that you're grieving and all that, but you just can't do this. Do I like the way that Hayward is going about things? No, I don't. I think he's a jerk. But I mean, the dude is not wrong. You know what I'm saying? And now he's getting into it with Jimmy and Darcy and all that, and she's talking trash. And I like how Jimmy stuck up for Wanda and Darcy. He's like, wait a minute, this is not the time to come down on your colleagues or whatever. And so I kind of like that. And I know his name is Hayward, but I want to get his first name as well. It may be Tyler. Okay, I think I just saw it. Director Tyler Hayward. So, okay. Yeah, so Director Tyler Hayward. I don't blame him. He's a jerk. But we also see the Sword Agents bringing in the drone, and it still has Wanda's magic hex powers on it or whatever. And I was thinking that was going, we was going to get a lot of development there, but it really doesn't look like that. If you've seen the episode, which I'm sure you have, and how things have played out right there. But Tyler Hayward, he is on a power trip. Okay, he is tripping. He's letting his power get into him, and I know that he wants to have control. I mean, he just, wants to maintain dominance. That's just the type of person he is. But it's like, dude, y'all got to work together. Okay, you the one that called in all these people. You called in Darcy. You don't want to listen to her. Monica has actually been into the thing like more than one. Well, she actually has intel because she's been inside. So why don't you just listen to her, man? I mean, I understand you're frustrated. I will be too, but you're tripping right now, and I don't like you. And also, we also see that Monica's cells are changing. Darcy was able to pick that up on the computer, on the laptop. And so I don't know if this is how Monica gets her powers, but I think that's quite interesting too. And I also find it interesting that Darcy, I forgot what type of specialist she is, what her PhD is in, but I'm like, okay, you can do that, and you can also hack into computer networks and stuff like that, and get all this personal detailed data and information. Maybe she is that smart. Not trying to hate her if she's not, but I was like, wait a minute, I thought you specialize in this. You know, I guess she specializes in this too. But I don't know. You know, it is what it is. Maybe she's just that dope or whatever. But when we go back into the episode, Vision is walking around like, okay, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm blending in with his comic book costume. But he sees that people are frozen. And also on the outside, you know, when Hayward and them when he tries to kick them out, we see that Wu and Monica can fight. They can box. And it was kind of funny how Darcy was like, why don't y'all tell me the plan? But as Vision is walking around on the inside of the bubble, seeing people frozen, they are seeing that at the same time as they sneak back into the facility and hack into the laptop. They see that Hayward has been tracking Vision, talking about vibranium is decaying or something like that, and that all these life forms around him are barely moving. And it's like, are they alive? That's what Jimmy Woo said. And so when they jump back inside to the bubble and they're showing Vision, he's walking around like, okay, hey, excuse me, is these your children? What's going on? Are you okay? Do you need help? And I think he's just basically saying that, okay, Wanda, she has control, but of course she does not have complete full control. She can only control these people, I think, when they're in the close vicinity to her, you know, because she's being selfish right now and trying to make up this reality for her own benefit, for her own gain, you know, without not thinking about nobody else. And a little bit prior to this scene right here, we saw that, you know, she had the one lady doing like this, stuck. You know what I'm saying? And she was crying, and these people in pain because we saw Norm in the previous episode or whatever. He was like, tell her to stop. I got to get to my dad. My sister, where's my phone? And so it's just crazy. It's crazy, you know, with this woman crying right here. And so, you know, Billy, he got his powers and he flying around doing his thing, and I like that. And then Pietro going back and testing a Vision. This is when he pops up on Agnes. You know what I mean? We've seen it in the trailers. We've seen it in this episode. And she just like giving more answers like, look, man, she won't let us leave. So Pietro is an imposter. Agnes has some type of powers too. She was, you know, she's like, she won't let us leave. Are you here to help us? Your Vision, why don't you know your Vision? Because you're dead and all that. And he has to put it back in the trance. And he goes outside. And it's like, it's clear now that we see that Vision cannot survive outside of the hex. You know, he was falling apart and it was sucking him back in. And I'm like, man, we watching this dude die again. And it was painful. You know, but this is the badass part right here when Billy got his powers, you know, he was able to, like, you know, use the telepathy and the telekinesis and just like, you know, pick up the signal of his dad screaming or Vision screaming. And right when Tommy Speed was running by, he would just zoom like that and just stopped him dead in his tracks. And I was like, oh snap, that was cold and clean as hell right there. I like that. So these little boys are powerful and they're dangerous. And then he goes and tells Mom, and she goes crazy and expands the hex to save Vision. And so she's super powerful. She's super powerful. She saves Vision, we think, and the hex ends up swallowing all these other people. Except for Tyler, Hayward, Wu, and Monica. It gets Darcy. It's changing everybody into clowns and old school automobiles and stuff like that. And so, like, guys, this is just a world level threat. We're here, another great episode. They drop so much information at the end, especially with Pietro, because he's just like, how are you doing all this? He's trying to get answers, okay? I think he's trying to eat off her power or something. I don't know. But I don't trust this guy, not at all. But in episode 7, man, and they don't get on the horn and start calling Hawkeye because he had a relationship, like a nice little conversation with Wanda in Age of Ultron, you know, when she was afraid to fight at the end. So call her, Doctor Strange. Y'all need to be calling everybody. Wanda could destroy the whole planet, possibly. So it'll be bad writing, in my opinion, if y'all don't start calling in the big guns, you know, to start trying to take her Wanda, because she's going crazy. She's going crazy. But guys, that is just my opinion. Another great episode. I can't wait for episode 7. Can't wait for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What did you think about this episode? If I left anything out, please let me know down in the comment section below. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Help me reach 30,000 subscribers. And, you know, follow me on social media. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery. And that's just my opinion. Peace.